Welcome back. This is your feel-good breakfast show, Expresso on SABC3 on this Wednesday morning. Now, if you have trouble communicating with your fellow South African, it may be because we have 11 official languages in this country, but problems with understanding each other may start to change with the announcement from the Department of Basic Education that studying an African language in schools will become compulsory from next year. Now, this means that in just over 10 years, every matriculant in this country will hopefully be proficient in at least one South African language, of course, on top of English and Afrikaans. Now, with us on the line to give us some insight and details into this is spokesperson for the Department of Basic Education, Elijah Mhlanga. Thank you very much for taking our call this morning, Elijah. Elijah, can you hear me?
Yes.
Fantastic. Now, the class of 2027 who start grade 1 next year are set to become the very first class to be required to study at least one African language on top of English and Afrikaans. Now, what motivated the department to take this route?
No, because we realized that not all our official languages were given the same status. Some languages were not taught in schools in the way that they should have, and they will continue to be disadvantaged. So we felt that as a department we needed to do something to make sure that all our African languages are given the same status as all the other languages that are available in our curriculum. So we wanted to make sure that everyone has an opportunity to be offered an African language in our schools.
Now, will schools have a choice regarding which African language they teach?
Yes, they will have a choice. And we have left this it will be the responsibility of the parents through the school governing body to decide which language should be offered in a particular area.
Now, there have been some concerns raised about the shortage of African language teachers in South Africa and that this could be a major stumbling block for the implementation of the program next year. So how does the department plan to work its way around that?
No, we are aware of that. That's why we started piloting this in 2014 and 2015 in preparation for implementation in 2016. We wanted to learn some lessons to see what we needed to do and what we needed to pay special attention to before we implemented. So we are aware that there's a shortage of teachers, but we've been engaging the Department of Higher Education and Training to make sure that they produce sufficient numbers of teachers that will come and teach in African languages. But note that it's not all our 25,000 schools that are not offering an African language. There's only about 3,700 schools that are not offering this language. So we believe that starting in grade 1 next year, we should be able to have teachers to teach in these schools. That's why we are calling it incremental introduction, because we are not going full blast in all the grades at once. We want to start with grade 1 and incrementally move to grade 2, 3, 4 onwards until we do this in matric, because we want to allow for enough time for us to be able to have the good numbers of teachers that we need for this to be successful.
Yeah, Elijah, thank you very much for chatting to us this morning.
Thank you.
Fantastic stuff. I think that the cultural exchange that will occur through that linguistic learning process can only be beneficial for our country. But here's the question that I'd like to ask you. Do you think that pupils should learn an African language on top of English and Afrikaans? Let us know on our Facebook page, Expresso Morning Show SABC3. In fact, right now, let's hear what you have to say on those social media platforms. Ilana's got it for you.